Are you enjoying the game today too? Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, oh man, we are strapping in for some serious 8-bit chaos. We are tackling the Famicom crossover classic from 1988, Konami YY World.
YY is just the perfect name, isn't it? It's all about being noisy and chaotic.
Exactly. This game is just pure Konami energy. It was a celebration of their biggest stars, but also, let's be honest, the source of some incredible childhood frustration.
It really was. They basically took all their characters, heroes, villains, even some really weird licensed ones, and just threw them all into this one massive 2D action game to fight the great Demon King Waldar. It's the definition of good old Konami.
So our mission today is total nostalgia immersion. We've got a ton of sources covering everything from the character designs to the map layouts and especially the flaws. We're going to dig into why this game worked so well and what parts had us wanting to throw our controllers.
And this wasn't just, a simple character parade. The game actually forced you to use all 8 of these characters. You had to learn their skills, their quirks. You were managing a whole team.
Okay, let's get into that roster of chaos. Section 1. The game starts you off, surprisingly, with 2 brand new characters. You get Konami Man or Konami Mantaro.
Right, and this was like a huge promotion for him. He used to be just an Easter egg, a hidden little character in other games.
And now he's the star.
Yeah, he's the protagonist. He's got a punch, and later he gets this awesome beam gun.
And then there's his co-star for 2-player mode, Konami Lady. She's an android, and, well, the sources always point this out. She fights in a bikini.
She does, but her kicks are really good, and her heat gun pierces through enemies, which is super useful.
Okay, so then you start rescuing the real heavy hitters, the ones we all wanted to see. Of course, you've got Goemon from Ganbare Goemon.
And Simon Belmont from Castlevania, a legend, and Fuma from the much darker Getsu Fumaden. Seeing those 3 on the same screen it was mind-blowing for a kid back then.
But then, this is where the roster just gets wonderfully absurd. They threw in licensed characters. First up, you have Mikey from the Goonies.
Yes. Mikey from the Goonies. It makes no sense, and it's perfect.
And then you have Kong from King Kong 2.
A TH kid with a slingshot and a giant ape fighting alongside a vampire hunter. The whole thing feels like a fever dream, and that's the charm.
It really is. But there's one character that I think defines the game's weirdness more than any other, and that's Moai.
Moai Alexandria.
Yeah.
The giant stone head from Gradius.
He's an enemy in his own game.
He's an enemy, and here he is, a hero who just kind of headbutts things to death. It's so strange that it actually created what our sources call a reverse phenomenon.
A reverse phenomenon? What do you mean?
Well, people loved him so much as this weird, playable hero in YY World that Konami actually gave him his own spin-off game later, Moai Kun.
No way.
Yeah. An enemy character became so popular in a crossover that he got his own series.
Yeah.
That just shows you how willing Konami was to just try things.
Well, let's talk about utility, because this is the good design part. These characters aren't just reskins, they are all fundamentally different.
Oh, completely. Take Goemon. He uses his pipe, the Kizaru, and he swings it in this little upward arc.
Right.
That makes him the only one who can reliably hit enemies that are floating just above the ground. He's also the only one who can open treasure chests to get the big hearts. He's your utility guy.
And Simon, on the other hand, he's so slow, but that whip...
He moves like a tank. A total tank. But yeah, that whip has incredible reach. And his sub-weapon, the cross, is a complete game changer for bosses.
It is, but it costs 5 bullets, roughly.
5 bullets per throw. In the early game, that's a massive cost. You really have to ask yourself, is this boss worth it? It turns an action game into, like, a resource management sim.
Totally. Then you've got Kong. He's not just a weird gimmick, he's actually essential later on.
He's your powerhouse. Highest attack, and crucially, the highest jump. There are parts of the later stages you literally cannot clear without Kong's jump. You have to keep him alive.
Which brings us to Section 2, the mechanics and the stages. The whole game feels a lot like Castlevania, right? With the connecting maps and stairs.
It even uses the death sound from Castlevania 3. But the game plays a trick on you at the start. It gives you this choice of 6 stages.
The progression trap.
Exactly. It looks like you have freedom, but you really don't. It's an illusion of choice.
Because you'll just hit a dead end if you pick the wrong order.
Right. You try the city stage, and you run into these low tunnels. Only Mikey, because he's so short, can get through them. If you don't have Mikey, you're stuck.
So you're forced to go rescue Mikey first. Poor guy. His whole identity is just being short.
Pretty much. And then in the hell stage, you'll find these huge walls that only Kong can jump over. Or on Easter Island, there are stone walls that only Fuma or Kong can break with their sub-weapons. The level design itself is the guide.
And as you rescue these heroes, you also find these incredible power-ups that just change everything.
The big one is the mantle. You find it in the Hell stage, and it lets Konami Man and Konami Lady fly.
Oh, I remember that. The joy of getting it, and then the frustration of how slow it was. The sources called it like an old person's bicycle.
That is hilariously accurate. It's more like a slow, controlled drift. But that drift is essential.
Because it lets you go back and get the other items.
Exactly. The mantle is the key to getting the armor, which cuts all damage in half, and the power capsule, which doubles everyone's attack power. You absolutely need those for the final stages.
Before we get to the bad stuff, though, we have to talk about the music. The BGM is just... it's perfect.
It's a masterpiece. Each hero's stage uses the music from their original game. For a lot of kids, this was the first time they ever heard the music from, say, Getsu Fumaden or King Kong 2.
Yeah, it was like a Konami Greatest Hits album. It just added so much to the atmosphere.
For sure.
All right, we've had our fun. Let's get into the pain. Section 3, pain points and problems. And we have to start with the biggest one, the screen scrolling.
The screen scrolling. It is, without a doubt, the single worst part of the game. The screen doesn't move until your character is practically touching the edge.
Which means enemies just pop into existence right on top of you. You get all this surprising damage that you feel like you couldn't have avoided.
You couldn't with the fast enemies like the ninjas in the Edo stage or those horrible bone horses in hell.
Yeah.
It wasn't about reflexes, it was about memorization. You had to know exactly where they would spawn and attack preemptively.
And all that damage leads to the next huge problem, the resurrection mechanic.
Oh, the grind. It was just grueling. If a character dies from damage or falling in a pit, they're gone. They are unusable.
And to get them back, you have to pay Dr. Cinnamon's brother 100 bullets.
100 bullets per character. And bullets only drop 5 at a time. That's 20 item drops you have to grind for, just for one guy.
It's so punishing. And if your whole party dies, Konami Man and Lady come back, but you lose half your bullets, the game kicks you when you're down.
It does. But luckily, there was the hidden fix, the undocumented workaround.
The password system.
Yep. If you just wrote down your password and re-entered it, all your rescued characters would come back to life for free.
That's amazing. A little 14-character Kana password could save you like an hour of grinding.
It was a lifesaver. Speaking of needing saving, let's talk about Mikey.
Oh, poor Mikey. The licensed scapegoat.
His utility is just so low.
Yeah.
He's needed for that one tunnel. His attack is tiny. His slingshot is useless. He basically became the character you'd switch to when you knew you were about to take an unavoidable hit.
The designated damage sponge. That's a rough fate for the hero of the Goonies.
It really is. And finally, you have that classic Konami hit detection, those .unit precise jumps.
So unforgiving. The platforms in the castle and Port Town stages are just brutal right from the start.
But the worst is the mantle glitch, the flying glitch.
Explain this because it's so frustrating.
Okay, so when you're flying, your character hitbox is long and horizontal. But the second you land, it switches back to your normal vertical standing hitbox.
Right.
So if you're trying to land on a narrow ledge, your horizontal hitbox might touch it, but the game then checks for your vertical hitbox, finds nothing there, and you just fall right through the platform into a pit.
It's the ultimate betrayal. The game gives you this amazing flight power and then punishes you for trying to land.
It requires this level of precision that feels almost unfair.
Okay, we survived the trauma. Let's talk about the incredible finale. Section 4, the final battle. You need all 8 heroes to even get into Waldar's stage.
And the stage itself starts as a shooter, a vertical STG, a shoot 'em up. You pick between the Twin Bee or the Vic Viper.
Which is funny because they misspell it Big Viper in the game.
They do. And it's a mix of game styles. You have the bells from Twin Bee, but the intense bullet patterns of Salamander. If your team of 8 dies here, you get sent all the way back to the lab.
The boss of this section, Waldar, is genuinely terrifying.
His design is incredible. He starts as this big dragon with a weirdly human face. But as you damage him, the face melts away into this grotesque, single-eyed monster. It's a really memorable moment.
And after you beat him, the game shifts again. It becomes a 2D action platformer, but it looks like you're inside an alien.
It's the Inner Sanctum, a stage made of alien organs. And what's so cool is that the design And the BGM are taken directly from the final stage of Contra.
A little sneak peek.
Exactly. And the true final boss is Waldar's heart, this horrible three-headed pulsating thing. Once you destroy it, the real panic begins.
The escape countdown, you get 5,000 counts, which is about 2 minutes, to run all the way back out of the alien stage to your ship.
It's so intense, no time to spare. You have to run perfectly. If that clock hits 0, your entire party dies and you're back at the start of the shooter section.
A brilliant, evil way to end the game. It doesn't let you relax for a second.
And that difficulty is part of its legacy. Years later, they made a mobile port of the game, but they couldn't get the licenses for Mikey and Kong again.
But what did they do?
Had to swap them out. Mikey was replaced by Oopa from Biomiracle Bookhood Oopa, and Kong was replaced by Penta the Penguin.
From Antarctic Adventure.
Yep. And because the original levels were designed around Mikey and Kong's abilities, they had to completely redesign those stages. Port Town became a candy stage, and the city became an Antarctic stage.
Wow. That really shows how integrated the characters were. This wasn't just a gimmick. Konami YY World was this incredibly ambitious, tightly designed action game. It was tough, sometimes unfair, but so rewarding.
It's Konami at their absolute peak. It captured everything that made that era of the company so special. The creativity, the challenge, and that little bit of weirdness.
So here's our final thought for you to chew on. Konami somehow managed to balance 8 wildly different characters from different worlds back in 1988. Considering how complex games are now, what modern franchise do you think could even attempt to cross over this strange and this mechanically diverse today without it just falling apart?
Something to think about next time you're debating whether to grind for those bullets or just use the password.
Will the game be fun tomorrow too? Have a nice game.